Hi there, Freedom One, HearingGod.tv. The Lord has been getting on me for quite some time about speaking and just sharing my testimony the experiences that I've had in dealing with cults. I've been in a cult in my past, and I've always kind of been around a sort of religious bondage, and the Lord has really been wanting me to share it and sending people asking me about it, and so now is the time. So I'll be going through a little bit of my history here, and it'll probably lead into some other testimony stuff as well. So I look forward to this.
Tell me,
I hear you.
is it you?
Is it you? Hey, I hear you.
Before I can even go into actual details of being in the cult or the why, the trying to understand, a thing as you get older, you begin to evaluate things in your life. You see cycles, you see patterns, and I can look back and see this in my life. I like to promote this book all the time, Blessing or Curse You Can Choose by Derek Prince, because it helps kind of show sometimes there's a black cloud over your head. It's a little bit deeper than you think. And with my instance, my whole history with the cult thing has generational ties. And I know that because of going back. My first experiences, I've always been one to have a zeal and a hunger for God, and you'll find any person in a cult does. They really do, and and that's something that cult leaders and whatever can use for manipulation and really just bleed people dry. But anyhow, my background is Catholic, and when I was growing up, I didn't go to Catholic school. I lived in a small town, and parents would ship us off every Wednesday evening to a CCD class. It's one of those things you go through. As I did that, I became very close with some of the sisters that taught the classes and whatnot, and they would invite me to. They were called come and see days, and basically their order is a teaching order, and their big base. They would from these little towns, they would get girls that were potentially interested to go to these things called the come and see day. And basically it would start you down this ladder to become a nun eventually. So I went, and I ended up going to enough of these things and being interested, to migrant farm worker ministry with them, and I would just volunteer and do all kinds of things, and I enjoyed it. I loved them, and they had a pure heart about it. It was a good thing. But after I went to these come and see days, just kind of like going from the outside to just dipping your toe on the inside. You're not really making any commitments or anything. You're not charity, poverty, and chastity and all that stuff. It's not that yet. But I would go to these, and they'd have little I don't know, maybe it was like monthly little retreats or something where I'd go up for a weekend and just learn more about the life that the sisters in this organized structure, what they would do, their prayer life and everything. And something interesting happened The woman that directed all of the novices, a sister, she, you know, I just never felt comfortable around her. And then later on, I found through a friend of mine that was also going up there, that was also in my CCD class. She said that, you know, that director was pressuring one of the girls to take the next step. You know, giving her guilt trips and all kinds of stuff because, you know, that kind of lifestyle isn't really sought after anymore. But anyhow, it is to the point where this girl actually tried to commit suicide. And I guess she tried to slit her wrists. I don't know, but after I heard that, it's like I knew that churning within me that this wasn't a good thing. I knew right then and there that I needed to get out. So I left, but I always still kept in contact with the sisters in my local church and would hang out with them and still continue to do migrant farm ministry and whatnot with them. You know, it bore good fruit. But anyhow, after that whole experience, you know, I went off to college and, you know, you go and find yourself or whatever. Well, for me, you know, it's like I was goody two-shoes all that time, and I get out in college and, you know, that's where I fell. So, you know, then it's like I was confronted where it's like, wow, you know, I really had this this God encounter where I realized that He was real and that I put myself in a bad position, and wow, you know, He really is here to save me. He really is here. So that was kind of a turning point for me.